Is this mic on? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a sound check.
Welcome back to the Moose Pit here in OKC. My name is Moose from Soundchecked. This is one of the best kept secrets in the world out there. This is a deal where I take your band's album and I chop it down track by track. We talk about production values, song structures, guitar tones, textures, all that kind of stuff. It's an in detail thing, and this is really what I'm good at. Being a podcast host I'm pretty poor at that part. But so the Blackcloud Syndicate. So one of the best things about doing this is that I don't listen to the band prior to doing this. I don't know anything about them. Hell, this could be a country band. Honestly, I don't know. I doubt it, since they sent their music to me. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut this album. It's a 7-tracker, which would be an EP. It's extended play. I'm going to break this down from beginning to end, front to back, and we're going to go all over it. Now, here's the deal. Some of you may be saying to yourselves, why would I listen to this? Because just like me, you're either going to find a band that just doesn't do much for you, or in many of the cases when I've done sound checks, because people that do this care about what they do, you're going to find a band that is incredible. And it's worth the time. It's worth the time to sit back and listen, because you never know when you're going to find your new favorite band. You know what I mean? That's what we say when we say own the underground, man. Take ownership of it and find that music that you love, because it's out there. Blackcloud Syndicate, like I said, I think they may have sent me some information, but I don't usually pay attention to that. Just because I want to have an open mind about the music. I don't want to know where you're from. I don't any of that. So we're going to get into it. And is that the name of the record? Is it just kind of the Blackcloud Syndicate? That's all I've got. Blackcloud Syndicate Zip. I do see the cover of the record is very colorful, but red and orange and blue, pretty cool. So yeah, man, we're going to check it out. This is called Soundchecked. Like I said, where I take all of my focus and put it into one album, one band. So, which most of the time I don't think that you want my full attention, but when you get my full attention, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm not your girlfriend, and I'm not your mom, so I don't care about those things. I'm going to tell you. And if it's bad, I'm going to try to give you ways to make it better. If it's good, I'm still going to give you ways to try to make it better. It's a lot of fun. So stick around with me with the Blackcloud Syndicate Soundchecked right here on the Soundcheck Network, I guess. I don't know what the hell it is. I've only been doing this for 10 years or something. Here we go. Blackcloud Syndicate.
You're listening to Soundcheck with the Moose. listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
All right, so now I know a little bit more what I'm working with here. It's a little bit of hard rock, and hard rock is one of those deals, man, where you are either, a bar band, or you have some pop sensibility about you. You have swagger, or if you're lucky, both some pop sensibility and some swagger. Really dirty, really gritty, and looking at the song title, it's kind of dark themed, for this kind of music. And like I said, to me, in my mind, it's not heavy metal. It's just hard rock. It's got guitar solos in it. The bass tone is extremely bottom heavy. So yeah, I think that the opening cut is very important. It kind of sets the tone for the record. Kind of creepy with the buzzing of the hornets and everything. I was like, oh, this is kind of but it leads into the next tune, Horror Show. So it's cool. It seems like maybe we've got a theme, or at least a path that we're moving down. So that was a pretty good tune. I don't get right into what I think about. There are some things I would definitely clean up. The guitar tone cannot compete with that bass. I mean, I don't know if that bass went DI into the board, or if he's just playing like a 412 Galen Kruger set right up next to 7 Shure 51 mics or what. But I mean, that bass tone was really heavy. The guitar tone lost out on that. Also, I mean, if you're gonna do I would, if you're going to use a bass tone that heavy, I would lose the rhythm guitar during the solo. Just let that bass carry the bottom end of it. I don't know, man. So there are things about it that I'm picking out, and I would change up a little bit. And the biggest thing that I would change up in that tune is the breaks. And I think the breaks are a little floppy like bacon. I mean, they're not quite cut smooth. And I don't know if you guys are playing with a click track or whatever, but that's one thing I would be very break, because they're a little weird, kind of on and offish. But that's a strength, something we can look at as we go through the record. Excited about this next one, Horror Show. This is the Blackcloud Syndicate getting sound checked by Moose here in the Moose Pit Studios in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You get to hear the whole record. And then you get to hear me flap my gums about it, which, I mean, I think it's kind of fun. Horror Show, second cut. We're playing it in order, by the way, so that's important that if you can get the story of the record in order, because Operation Mindcrime is a bitch if it's not in the right order. Just saying. Trust me.
Where you get rated in tacos, only on Soundcheck.
Yeah! Hi, this is Mario.
And this is Juan from Austral, and you're listening to
The Moose.
Guys are giving me a pretty tough time here of trying to pinpoint. And one of the things that I promise not to do on a Soundchecked is pigeonhole you to sounding like another band. But I do want to pull from influences that I'm hearing. And I'm hearing a lot of Motorhead and some AC/DC. And also with the gang vocals, you kind of get an AC/DC, or not AC/DC, Anthrax kind of feel. It's really rowdy. You know what I mean? I guess is the way to put it. It's not a clean product. And with the second tune kind of falling in line with the first one, I'm starting to feel like that's probably on purpose. So I always don't, have any idea what the band wants to achieve with their records. I don't know what they want to achieve with what they're doing. I don't know if they want to be superstars or if they just, want to play in clubs or whatever. But I really can appreciate the grit, that it's, very desert rock, I guess is the best way to put it. It's not smooth. It's not nice. It's not pretty. It is, but it's kind of a weird, I don't recognize the swagger. It borderlines a little punk. It borderlines a little, thrash, cause you can hear those, kind of S.O.D, M.O.D type riffs floating around in there. That gang vocal also helps along with that. It's pretty cool. It's very brash, but it's fun. It doesn't have a super serious tone to it. You know what I mean? Which it's rock and roll. So I'm liking it so far, but I'm having a hard time kind of grasping what's going on with the Blackcloud Syndicate so far. But that's why I love doing this. I really would, I would have gone a real different way with the guitar tone. I think the lead tones are a little too high end. They cut just a little bit too much. The bass wasn't as overpowering in that tune. And the way I look at it is, now look, I know we're not, playing Rush here, but I would do more with the bass. If I'm going to put the bass that deep in the mix, I would incorporate it more, or throw a distortion on it or something, or flange it. Just have some fun with it. When you're playing with something that big, you better be able to use it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Pretty cool so far. It's way different than what I was expecting. And I'm trying to really pinpoint down. I'm learning more about what the band is so far. And of course, I'm going to pick out the song that I like the most sometime in this recording. But it's cool, man, because it's just kind of... It just feels so beachy to me, if that makes any sense. It just feels like these guys are wearing jams and, cloth keds and or Vans, what I mean? It's just real laid back, we don't give a damn, here's what we got kind of a deal. I liked the double kick in that song, but it got a little muddy. It made the mix a little muddy. I liked the idea, and the placement was good, but it was a little, and that's one of the things that I was going to say earlier. With that kind of a bass tone, I would really trigger the kick and make sure that bass and that kick are just dead on top of each other, to make it, not to make the bass stand out, because it stands out, but just to make it more instead of anyway. Yeah, you can't stop rock and roll. Coming up next from the Blackcloud Syndicate. Let's check this one out.
This is Paul from Shadow Realm, and you are listening to The Moose. Oh yeah.
Want to know if you suck?
Hey, you suck.
Send your music to Soundcheck.
Well, I guess that confirms I'm not a complete idiot. You can't stop rock and roll there. Yeah, so here's the deal with that, and why so far it's my favorite cut, because it took the elements that you guys are trying to convey, and it works because it's your influence, right? So here's the things in that will work better for you as well, and why you pulled that off it's a great cover for you guys. When the riff dominates the song, that heavy bass tone doesn't hurt. When the brain is like laser pointed on the riff as opposed to the heavy bass line, that heavy bass line turns into a gift. But if not, if the riff of the tune isn't the one carrying it, it doesn't take away from the music, but it just isn't as powerful, that booming bass. So yeah, man. So it's a pretty great way of showing not only who your influences are and what kind of music that you're trying to purvey to people, but it shows that if done the right way, this kind of I call this music AC/DC tree, AC/DC branch bands, and that goes all the way from Final Drive, which is just super duper heavy metal, to X Center, if you've heard of them. But just it's this. Even Cinderella is an AC/DC branch band to me, and then at the same time, it's got that Motorhead branch too. And yeah, man, it's really cool. It's something that I really feel like, and this is not a cut down at all. It's like 30 years old. You know what I mean? It's just got enough of that lack of production. It's got enough of that. It's just kicking you in the side like a spur. It's not, like I said, it's not pretty. I feel like there's a spittoon somewhere involved in just dirty, mean, gritty, kick-ass rock and roll. You know what I mean? So those are all good things. I don't know where it sits in the world of music entertainment right now. I don't know if it's big or small, or it's one of those things. This is a guaranteed great live show at a club. This is a good, sweaty, in the pit, pumping your fist, good time at a club. Bunch of beer, bunch of babes, bunch of cigarette smoke, just filthy rock and roll. On the radio, it's fun to listen to. It belongs on the classic rock channel, heavy classic rock. How does it do in the digital world? Not sure. Changing the Imp, the Chinese.
Hi, this is Mario.
And this is Juan from Austral, and you're listening to
The Moose.
Change the year. So say my season moving on, don't say it's over.
Text in your request to the Soundcheck Taco line 424-666-7356.
Changing the imp, not the Chinese, but the Japanese Digipack bonus track. I said Chinese, and I was like, yeah, that's wrong. There it is, another example of that that MOD, S.O.D. Even you could even go as far as to Black Flag, even Minor Threat, kind of Fugazi, even Dead Kennedy, kind of that punky thing in there. And I love that. That is... when they started blending punk and metal, you know what I mean? That was an exciting piece of like music time to me, because it was a great marriage of vitriol and pissed off anger, and then dialed in precision. You know what I mean? That just hit you like like bullets over and over and over again. You had no chance to gasp for air, and that made it awesome. Really, really cool tune. I don't think that was a cover. I'm not familiar with the tune, but that was a great example of kind of the culmination. You know, somebody could listen to that song and go, Moose, you said that this band is a AC/DC branch band. You know what I mean? How in the world can you say that from that? I can't necessarily say it from that, but the package as a whole, you're starting to figure out, okay, man, so the roots of this really go back to some grit rock, you know. And when I say AC/DC, I mean like Bon Scott AC/DC. This is old, gritty, you know, it's got that blues tinge to it. It's not bluesy. And then it's just, yeah, man, it's very outback, I guess is the way to put it. But I really liked that cut. Like, so far, that would be the tune that I play to people when they said, so tell me about the Blackcloud Syndicate, you know, what do they sound like? Be like, this is what they are right here. You know, it's that Fugazi meets AC/DC kind of thing. So really, really cool. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to move on next to another, I think this is another like extra track. It's off of the Brazilian Diecast Metal box set, which I don't know what that means, but sounds interesting. The song is called Black Wish from the Blackcloud Syndicate, right here on Soundchecked with the Moose, coming to you from the Moose Pit in Oklahoma City. Let's see what we got with this one. Getting close to the end here of the 7-song record. Having a blast. Can't wait to finish this one off. Black Wish from Blackcloud Syndicate right now on Soundcheck.
Find Soundcheck on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and in your local taco truck.
Masochist relationship. Black Wish.
fucking, you're not even worth it. Be careful what you wish for. For your escape to a place but was there when right now, make a big new grave. And it's hard to make a mess on the wrong side of the road. Listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
It's a Blackcloud Syndicate Soundchecked here with Moose from the Moose Pit here in Oklahoma City. So the one influencer, the thing that I'm kind of hearing that I've kind of held off on, there's actually two that I'm not putting out right now, but I feel comfortable after that tune to say I feel like Tomahawk and Mr. Bungle, even little Faith No More, Mike Patton basically is an influencer. It's got enough of that bizarre behavior, as well as enough of that punk attitude in places. And I also feel like the songs are there's a really good job of not staying too similar. The songs are moving around, and they each have their own little. There's definitely that root of, like I said, that AC/DC, that gritty rock, that Motorhead, punky dirtiness, that, just Ashtray, and then also that M.O.D., S.O.D. kind of thrashy tone there as well. And then there's a little tinge of fuzz rock, maybe if you want to get really right down to it. But, fuzz rock, all goes back to, Motorhead and Sabbath and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I felt comfortable after that one with going with the Mr. Bungle and the Faith No More Tomahawk kind of thing, because the vocal phrasing is just outside of the box enough to say that it's got that artistic cringe to it, like Mike Patton does, which is, it's kind of brave to take that face value and put it out there. You know what I mean? And it also gives a big part of this Blackcloud Syndicate CD that I have taken to heart is the big middle finger just to everybody. Just listening to it. Oh yeah, just here it is, I'm going to flop this out there and you're going to dig it or you're not. And if you don't, piss off, we're on to the next one, really. This next tune's called The Void off of the New Zealand Special Goatskin Edition, which that's a special deal right there. Trust me. The Void, Blackcloud Syndicate.
Hey metal fans, this is Matt from the band Rectify, and you're listening to The Moose.
Nothing but a
listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
We're about to wrap up with the Blackcloud Syndicate on Soundchecked with Moose here from Oklahoma City. So it's a really, really kind of throw me for a loop because it's not what I was expecting. Just the name itself almost led me to believe it was more of a proggy, kind of maybe the progtronics, real clean guitar, clean vocal kind of a deal, which, you know, kind of gives you the don't judge a book by its cover deal. But if you listen to Soundcheck, you know I do it all the time. But really kind of a thumbs up on the side of what I was expecting. It's just got that old stamp of approval kind of a deal. It's very leather belt, you know what I mean? Dirty blue jean kind of rock and roll. It's got that Aussie flavor to it, which and that may be completely weird because these guys could be from Kansas, I don't know, but it's got that real deserty feel to it. So I mean, it's really, really cool. And like I said, we'll talk a little bit more at the end. I don't know how it would do in the digital age today. I think this is gonna be something that older people might dig. You know, I think kids would just think this is a waste of time. You know, unless they happen to grow up on the, you know, the Rolling Stones and, you know, some old classic stuff. So, yeah, man, I'm going to throw out that last influence here at the very end. I'm really digging it so far. It just has really kicked me back for a loop. So, yeah, man, we're going to finish up with the tune called Welcome to the Resurrection. Last tune on the record, CD, digital download, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm going to call them records forever. I'm with the Blackcloud Syndicate. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been an interesting ride through this record. Love that, and I love that it from beginning to end. It is just, it's solid, and it's got the same kind of fingerprint all the way through it, and that's a big deal. It's hard for some people to do, trying to please everybody. Just do your thing, and these guys did it. Here we go. Last cut.
Where you get rated in tacos, only on Soundcheck.
Welcome. More cowbell. How can I hide the truth? Wow, such a better day. Let you down, bro. This don't make a wrong way. Human misery, opportunity for power. Power crush, opposing you. Freedom is freedom for yours. Don't let the answer done for the circle pay. Life stops you. Fight 2,000 years ago. The penal Bible's left for you to shove it down my throat. Bitch! I can make an entertainment gun down to my head. What's the light?
Look where you're right now!
You said, education! No! Indoctrination and the blue remission means loss of attention. How will you continue to ridicule me? In a world of facts where no one speaks freely. Not a privilege but a right. No muzzle words of honesty into a barren life. Under mountain lies. to the resurrection.
What direction?
Welcome to the resurrection.
A false perfection. Want to know if you suck?
Hey, you suck.
Send your music to Soundcheck.
Well, that wraps up the Blackcloud Syndicate, man. What an interesting vibe. What a cool it's kind of a cool deal because it's a backwards roll, but at the same time, it kind of rolls forward and brings in some new elements to some old characters. And I really got that Mr. Bungle kind of Motorhead and AC/DC kind of wound up all together. And one of the things that I caught in the music that maybe nobody else will catch, but I found a lot of Talking Heads-esque stuff in there. Not sound-wise, but the way that they arrange and the way that the vocal pushed around the song. Usually the song kind of pushes the vocal. I thought it was really cool. It was really rough, and at first I was like, gosh, this. And then then it made sense. It had that beer can mentality to it, where that rough edge was meant to be there. Like I said, that ashtray kind of dirty feeling, and that's what it does. Is it kind of leaves a film on you when you listen to it. You're kind of like, man, that was. Kind of feel guilty for listening to that. So, pretty good, man. I would totally give that probably a 4 taco deal. And I think I would give it a 4 taco deal based on my age and the music that I've listened to growing up. And for me, like I said, it's a guaranteed great club show. That is just, beer and sweat and good time. I don't know how it would do in the broad world of music, but for a good time, good listen, low stress, not a lot of thought. It's just good stuff to put on and, drink beer with your friends and, play cards to or whatever. But man, I thought it was really, really pretty cool. I don't know that if I was a record label, if I would put a lot into that, but I know that if I'm a fan of that band, or if I'm somebody that's trying to tell somebody about a cool, just good party time band, that's, a little bit out of the norm, I would tell them about the Blackcloud Syndicate. It's nice, man. It's refreshing and comfortable at the same time. So really good, man. I appreciate you guys letting me do this, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hope you are satisfied with the review, and yeah, man, we're definitely going to play at least one cut on Soundcheck to let people hear it, and it's going to go into the rock and roll category. Thanks to the Blackcloud Syndicate. It's Moose. Until next time, take care. We'll see you next time.
All rights to the music heard on the Metal Moose are reserved by the authors, their labels, or authorized representatives that permitted their material to be used. The Metal Moose holds no rights to any music played on the show. Go to themetalmoose.com to submit your music to be heard on the show. The Metal Moose accepts donations of money, Cheetos, bacon, and naked pictures. Thank you for tuning in and subscribe on iTunes. Rock out while you rack out, and consider yourself moosed.